Hey, best friend, sister, girlfriend, it's your girlfriend next door and friendship coach, Andrea, coming to you with another installment of your Girlfriend Next Door podcast. I hope you guys are having a wonderful year despite all the things that are going on up here in the DMV area. Yes, I live amongst everything, but I am staying quarantined in the house. For those who follow me on Instagram, you know that I went on a 3-week vacation. Started off by going home to see my family. Then I wanted to go to somewhere domestic, so we just chose Vegas. It was just like pull something out of the fishbowl, and we decided to go to Vegas. You guys, I literally went to Vegas and did not go into one casino. I'm not a gambling person. I mean, I may play like the roulette table or something like that, but I'm not a huge gambler anyway. So we just did like things off the beaten path. If you go over to my Instagram, you'll see some really cool shots. I went to that Seven Mountains, all that stuff. And then we stayed there for, it was my husband and Cadence. If you know me, you know Cadence goes everywhere with me. She's my little B-word terrier. Everyone thinks she's a Yorkie mix, but she actually is a true AKC breed. Cadence is a B-word terrier. She's the sweetest little thing, and she's a diva. I have to admit, she's a little diva. But anyway, we took her and we stayed over at the Vidar, only because it's very dog friendly. We never have any issues there when we bring her along. We ate food that we hadn't eaten before. I have this heater on. It's burning me up, you guys. If you hear it, I'm sorry. I had to turn that heater down. Um, so we went over to, we checked out a soul food restaurant there. We pretty much ate a lot. I have to be honest. We pretty much ate a lot, and we did sightseeing, different places that we just didn't have a chance or never made a priority to see. So we did that, and then after about, I think we were there for like 5 or 6 days. We were in Atlanta for 6 days, and maybe like 6 days in Vegas, and then we headed over to Mexico. And I just needed a break, you guys. I needed to get away from all the crazy. So I tried to make it a point to not watch a lot of news and different things like that. So we actually stayed at two different resorts while we were there. Um, One, because I'm trying to figure out where exactly I want to move. Yes, your girlfriend next door. We have the neighborhood, you guys. I ain't leaving the neighborhood, but I want to be able to diversify my portfolio. So when it gets a little cool outside, mama can go somewhere where it's warm. I got used to it because we used to have a house in Florida. Excuse me if it sounds like I'm smacking. But we used to have a house over in Florida, and it's a place called Land Lakes for like 3 years. And I was able to travel back and forth between DC and Florida. And I just really got used to having that break. I mean, sometimes you just really need a break. So it's always been my dream to have a place somewhere else. And I don't know, like, I've been thinking about it, and trying to figure out where I want to go. And Mexico was just one of the places on my list. So I had been looking online at different places. Tulum was one of the places I had never actually had a chance to visit. So going back to what I said, we ended up staying at two different resorts, okay? And when we were at the resort, let me pause 1 second. Playa, I can't. Just say I went to two different resorts in Mexico, and we just go leave it at that. But anyway, moving on. While I was there, I wanted to actually have an opportunity to record, and I wanted to do it while I was by the beach and do all that stuff. And child, I said, well, I'm going to buy me a microphone so I can have it when I'm, traveling. Because, your girlfriend next door, what does she do? She's always traveling. So I was like, I want to be able to record the podcast on the road. Ordered the microphone. I didn't like it. It was just so bulky and heavy. And so I ended up finding one, a cute little gold one that I'm going to be able to travel with. But I shouldn't be, sometimes the craziest things make me uninspired. But it made me uninspired not to record. But I wanted to come on and jump on and talk to you guys today. So, as we left off on our last little podcast, we were talking about, truly what it takes to build a friendship and what it means to have a relationship and things like that. So, making new friends or starting or putting yourself out there for a relationship sometimes can be very, very intimidating. But we also realize it can also be very rewarding once we, get our stride going, correct? It's just really hard, from moving. That's been one of the biggest things I've had to incur is moving and going around and, after college, becoming an adult, becoming a mom, and all the different things that happen in your life. It's just these true ups and downs that we go through, joys and pains. But overall, having relationships and friendships, it's the best thing for us. We need someone that we can talk to, but we also have different levels of friendships that we have to think about as well. Um, we just wouldn't be the same person if we didn't have anybody. I think we would drive ourselves crazy, okay? But we also know that we have different types of friends. I mean, we can make a broad category and say it's like 3 different types of friends. You have your hey girl, bye girl friends, which would be more so your acquaintances. You have your regular friends, that's more of like your social and activity buddies. But then you have those true soul heart to heart friends that you can rely on, and those friends really become more like family, right? And when I think about all these different categories of friends, I just want to sit and how do you break them down? How do you break down the ones that are truly your acquaintances? Are those the ones that are at school or work? You kind of have that small context of conversation with them. It's not too deep. Um, these relationships generally, I'll say they rarely last past, whenever you're at that job or school or something like that, past graduation or that workplace. You really don't see them again. But sometimes from time to time, you do think about them and wonder how they've been. And, we do that. I mean, we're all human. But then our regular social friends, those are like our meetup brunch buddies. We can categorize that. We have our fun friends and the ones that, call us maybe once every 6 months. Oh, I'm dropping by. I'm in your neighborhood. What's going on? That buddy type of thing. And then you say to yourself, okay. But then this is what happens, right? When you get to those true soul friends, I don't want to call them best friends because just because they're a true soul friend doesn't necessarily mean they're your best friend. Best friends are a different category. And people who people in this category are generally the people that you can talk to, share things with, but you also have to have a certain level of discernment with them because if you've lived long enough, and I'm talking to you, if you live long enough, even the ones in this particular category, I have to take a woosah right there. In this category can be the most hurtful. These are the ones that we rely on, we confide in, we have a certain level of trust. We pray that they don't defy us in any way, hurt our feelings. But we also want this friend group here to tell us the truth, give us, that good antidote that we need to move forward. But sometimes, unfortunately, these friends are the ones that pay us or show us the biggest lessons in life. This is a section of friendship where you may have your biggest heartbreak, your biggest letdown. This could also be the category that could be your biggest cheerleader, the ones that'll always be there for you. It truly can go either way. So when you think about these friends, or you know, this portion of life, I know you guys are out there and you feel what I'm saying. It can really go. It can go wrong, you guys. It can really, really go the way that you just don't want it to go, right? These are the people that when you trust them, you really want to give them the information, but you never ever want them to use the information against you. And this is where you have to really be cautious. And, you know, this is where your girlfriend about to tell a good story, child. Good story. So let's go back to the archives of the good friends. Now, we have had people, and I'm going to use myself, that we thought were real, real good friends. Soul friends. Spent the night over their house almost every weekend. Hung out, partied, had a good time, at least you thought. But not thinking that this particular friendship would lead to anything negative. Because when sometimes the person that you're closest with, you never think there's ever going to be jealousy, envy, anything that they can look at you. I mean, from your side. Now you could be blind to it. You don't know, and you don't realize that these situations happens when you are in a relationship that you think you can trust and confide on. But these are the biggest lessons that we learn. So take myself for an example. I'll just tell a story. I had a friend one time, and I thought, I loved her to the amount that I felt that I could love someone at that point in my life. I trusted her. I relied on her. She was someone who I thought was a really, really good friend. During this time, you guys, this is when everybody was, how you go through that phase when you and all your girlfriends are getting engaged, and everybody is just, or at least you think everybody is happy. So out of my friend group, I was the first one to get engaged. And I was so happy in my mind. Of course, I mean, I never had like a huge friend group. It was just enough. Like, a handful of close friends. That's what I'll say, 5 to 6 close friends. So in my friend group, I didn't know things were going on, you guys. Didn't know things was going on. But of course, I'm breaking it down. Can you be my bridesmaid? Can you be my maid of honor? Can you be this? And, just breaking it all down. And I'm just like, okay, choosing everything. And, I wanted a beautiful all-white wedding and all this stuff. Child, it came to the point where so much stuff was going on behind my back that it was ridiculous. Like, people were coming to me and saying, your bridesmaids are going to your husband's friends and family and talking about you like you're a dog. Say, wasn't it? Not my people. They love me. No, not my people. They was going behind my back, you guys, and saying things just out of pocket. Just things I don't even want to repeat, because in my heart of hearts, even to this day, I still never want to ever believe that the stuff is true, because I didn't hear it directly. So it was truly hearsay. But it was stuff that, I'll be honest with you. One of my husband's best friends married us, and I'm assuming his wife felt close to my husband. And I didn't know this at the time, was sitting and crying. But I didn't understand why. I'm like, why is this lady crying? What's going on? Is the wedding so beautiful? Is she just that emotional at the rehearsal? Like, what is going on? Come to find out, child, she was crying because she did not want my husband to marry me. You heard what I said. She didn't want, the preacher's wife did not want my husband to marry me because guess what? They felt I wasn't good enough. They were told I was a gold digger. They were told all I wanted was my husband for his money. That all I do is like to shop at Neiman Marcus and Saks Fifth Avenue. And child, let me be honest with you. I got married when I was 24, 25 years old. I may have had, and this is a big may, I may have had 2 items in my closet from a Neiman's and a Saks. Now, did I walk through and I fantasized and window shop? Heck yeah. But I was, look, back then in those days, I was still shopping at the Limited. If y'all old enough, you know what the Limited is. What else did I use? It doesn't matter. But my point is, I was not a Neiman Marcus girl. Now, I may have had Neiman Marcus and Saks Fifth Avenue taste, and I was going to get there, and I'm there now. But at that time, that's just not where my head was. So I was really, really shocked that this was something that was talked about behind my back. And this was from one of my closest friends that, this happened. And I just want to say that it affected the wedding so much that we never even rehearsed the wedding. We couldn't even get through it. It was so much gossip and chatter going on behind my back from what I thought were my, what do we call them? Our true soul friends. That I almost did get married, honey. But let me just say this. Let me say this. What's for you will be for you. And out of all the people who was married during that time, I think my husband and I, and maybe 1 or 2 other people, are still married. The others, they on number 2, 3, and I ain't knocking nobody for how many marriages you have. You can have as many as you like. But I think I got it right the first time. Now, if I have to do this thing again, I go in. If you know me, I'm going to go in and do it right. I'm just kidding, you guys. But I'm saying that to say, what my friendship experience was during that time when you don't know, you're entrusting everything and everyone, and you never really realize that it's possible for jealousy or envy or whatever the enemy wants to come in to try to destroy what you think is beautiful. They can intercede through that group of friends. So you always have to be cautious and be careful in your selection of the true soul friend group. Okay, I just want to say that because, out of everything, the biggest lesson here could be it heightens your antennas. When you go into another relationship, your fortitude, your discernment, everything that you go into a relationship looking for, despite chemistry, because that is one thing that we look for when we look for friendships and relationships too. Of course, in friendships and relationships both, we look for aesthetics. Okay, we look for aesthetics first. I mean, I just saw something on TikTok the other day that the girl said, how did it go? She said, girl, she was like, I don't have, I'm not, something about her not being cute. And she was like, first of all, you can't ever call yourself cute because I'm your friend and I don't have any friends that aren't cute. So she put it on herself. Like, you're not going to sit at my table if you're not qualified to sit at the table. And I'm saying that to say that when we choose people to be in relationship with, whether friendship or a relationship, we choose it first off the aesthetic first. No, because even with social media today, that's definitely you looking at the person first, and chemistry comes second, and after the chemistry, then you try to figure out what are your commonalities. Can you have a long-term conversation with this person? Does this person give you characteristics that they are trustworthy, that they will be there long term? That's very important, to have someone that could be long term, because for many of us, um, we look at people who've had friends since what, elementary school, all the way through college, high school, adulthood. But for most of us who have had to move for a career or whatever, a lot of times those relationships become disjointed and you have to start over. And that's another topic we're going to have to talk about. When you are constantly having to start relationships over, that is so hard, you guys. Especially at a certain age. I mean, it's kind of easy when you're in your 20s and you still popping and dropping and locking it and busting it wide open. Oh, did I say that? For those who did that. For those who did that. Because remember, I got married real early, so that wasn't me. I'm messing with y'all. But anyway, my point is when you're young and you out and about, socially, you have an opportunity to meet a lot of people. When you're growing your career, again, socially, you're going to meetup groups, you're going to different conferences or things outside of just your workplace to try to enhance your professional life that can in turn enhance your personal life. But then that begins to slow down at a certain point when you start to meet your stride in your career and people start to get those friend groups, start to get into those long-term relationships, start to have children, all of those different things. But with everything, you have to put yourself out there, and sometimes you have to get out of your head and conquer your fear. Everyone's not going to always be a social butterfly and can light up any room like myself. I'm just kidding. No, I've always admired. I know people say that I have that attribute that I can walk into a room and I have a certain presence. I don't see it. I don't feel it. It must be some anointing or whatever, but I recognize it on other people, and I've always admired. And when I see it, I tend to go to that person in a room because I'm attracted to that type of energy. And I'm sure you know the type of person I'm talking about. When they walk into a room, I love positive energy. You could just feel it's either that positivity or that power, or that it's just something about that person and you gravitate to them. Now, I love it. Now, I've been told when I walk into a room, I have it, but I also have an off-putting energy, which is upsetting sometimes. And I've tried to work on it myself, is being more conscious of my facial expression. Um, I've been told, because I'm really an introvert. I'm a very observant person. So I want to know everything and everything that's going on in the room. Child, I'm looking at everybody's shoes. I'm does anybody look like they have a backpack? Like, I'm looking at everything. Virgo by nature, so you already know, if you know anything about a Virgo, they go take in everything. So that's one of the things I do. And I try to reach out to people. I'm also very aware of very shy people who have a hard time maybe communicating in certain environments. And when I see that, I try to make it a point to, make that person at ease, go over there, say hello, because I know it's not easy for everyone. And then, I also try not to be the person that's cliquey. I don't like to see, and I see this a lot at different conferences when you go, and sometimes, depending on if it's a conference that happens, on a yearly basis or annual basis, some people do have their cliques, but child, I've seen it so bad that you'll have, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. You'll have the blonde, blue-eyed bombshell beauties in one corner. The brunettes, bombshells in another. The black natural girls in another. Latinas over here. And if you like me, you're black with a little fair skin, with some hair weave, you better find your way. You just better find your way. I end up over there with the Latina girls sometimes. Or I'll go to the Indians. Or I'll go over there to the ones that really will snub you though. Well, my experience. I can't say this for every the bombshells. I like to go over there and mess with them because they be so superficial. And then those be my girl. They always my girl. I love to have me some beautiful friends because girl, once you sit down and get to know them, and this is not all. This is me painting a very broad stroke, so I'm not speaking about everybody, but they just be kind of cuckoo. Like not cuckoo, but like you would think they would have the best self-esteem, and a lot of times they don't have the level of confidence that a more average person would have. And I don't know, and again, this is a broad stroke. I don't know if these people have relied more so on their looks, so they haven't had to do as much, but that's just been my experience, and I'm gonna move on for that because I don't want to offend anybody. But just talking about friendships and getting yourself out there, and trying to figure out how to make friends, and taking the first steps and being open and open-minded and trying so hard not to be judgmental. I think that's one of the biggest things, especially now in the climate that we live in. It's so hard not to have preconceived anything about a person because it's just, we have the information out there. You meet someone now, the first thing everyone's going to do, they're going to Google, they're going to go to their LinkedIn, they're going to try to go Facebook, Instagram. So you really don't have a chance to genuinely meet someone without having some preconceived information. Unless you just, like me, one of my favorite things to do, I hate to say, but it is one of my favorite things to do. I like to go to a nice high-end hotel, St. Regis, Four Seasons, boutique hotels, and I like to sit at the bar, and I will sit alone, and I spark up conversations because I like to meet people, from all different backgrounds, all walks of life, different places all over they live in different places all over the world. And what I've noticed when I'm able to do that, I've had just a lot of different experiences. So, but I think when you're able to do that or something similar, you're not judging people as much. You understand what I'm saying? Because you sitting there, even though they're going to give you like their bar talk or their small talk, depending on how the alcohol is flowing. They really, most times my experience is, I don't know, it's just my nature. People will tell me their entire life story. I mean, it's so crazy. I've had people literally crying on my shoulder, and I just met them at the bar, like within 30 minutes to an hour, giving me hugs. I love you so much. That's one of the reasons why, I became a life coach, is because I found people found it was so easy to talk to me. And, they would always love the advice that I would give them. But that's just been my experience. So, I'm saying that to say to not judge. Be open-minded. Put yourself in situations that you like and like-minded people would be. So my like-minded people, yes, they would be at the Four Seasons or the St. Regis. I'm just laughing at myself. And then also you need to have an open heart. When you are considering someone new coming into your life, that open heart and that discernment, and I don't want to talk about boundaries right now, but just having an open heart for people who may not have the same life experience as you. You never know what you guys have in common that you can help them with, and they can help you with as well. Um, it's just a process of getting to know the person. You know, what does she or he do? What are their hobbies? Um, what have they been up to recently? One of my big things, is travel. So when I speak to someone, generally I like to talk about travel or places that I haven't been that they can expose me to, that will spark an interest for me to go there. Um, you may not get this up front, but you'll start to see what those people value, what their values are, what motivates them, what drives them, what their passions are in life, what goals they have, what dreams they have. These are all the things that give you a genuine connection to a person. um you know I think when you initially meet someone in friendship versus relationship, we look for similar things, but depending on where you are in your frame of life, in a relationship realm, it's more so you're thinking about a life partner, and it's unfortunate that people really don't take the time out to really know what that means to them, because that is the most important thing. I can just say, whew, have to breathe on this one. I could just say, when it comes time to choosing a partner, what most people don't realize is you really need someone that you have great, and I'm talking great, communication skills with. That is one of the most important things. I've been married 22 years. And I can say, if my husband and I didn't have great communication, like if we could literally, like if the lights went out and we didn't have lights for 3 days, we could talk about so many different topics and not get bored with each other. And I understand that people wants to have, of course, when you first have a relationship, you're going to have this amazing sex, and you're going to be, at least I hope, in the closet, on the rooftops, wherever you do it, you're going to have all that. But I'm speaking when things subside and you no longer have, you're not a rabbit anymore, because it's going to happen, people. You're not going to be doing it unless you do the challenge. Now I'm open to this new challenge. They talking about that 365. Now that's different. Andrea, focus. Focus, girl, focus. But my point in what I'm saying is, you have to find out what else will sustain a relationship. And I think one of the number one things is communication. The other thing is finding someone that you can truly, and I'm talking truly, be yourself with. So many times when we leave out of the house, we have to put on a mask for work, a mask for teachers, for at the school. Like, you're constantly having to put on a mask when you walk outside of the door. But when you are with your partner, it should be truly, you should be able to walk around, do cartwheels butt naked and a split, and eat a banana if that's what you want to do, and he should think it's funny, or whatever, whatever your thing is. My point in what I'm saying is, it's so important for you to find someone that you can truly be your genuine and authentic self, and don't hold back. Because what happens if you hold back and years start to go by, and then you feel yourself, that pressure on your chest, that you've been trying to be something that you're not for year after year after year, when you finally break loose, they're like, well, who is this person? When you know darn well this is who you were the entire time. My husband know what he has. Period. That's all I'm gonna say. But being yourself in any relationship form is so important. Um, Another thing that you have to understand, and it's, I know you guys have heard this before, but just knowing a person's love language and truly just knowing your own. I mean, if you're not getting what you need from the jump, from the beginning, you're not going to get it later, guys. Stop thinking people are going to change. It's not going to happen. And stop thinking relationships are 50-50. That is such bull crap. Relationships can be 70-30 today, 90-10 tomorrow, 50-50 if you're lucky on Wednesday, and 80-20 on Friday. It just changes, okay? It's all about the effort that you put into the relationship, and knowing what type of giver that person is and what type of receiver, and what type of giver you are and what type of receiver you are. All these things are really, really important when it comes down to starting a relationship. Because the thing is, you guys, it's that maintenance period. It's like buying a new car. That thing is nice. It smells good when you first get it. You flexing. You looking good. You putting the rooftop back. You doing all of that. But about, after you make about 6 to 10 payments on that vehicle, somebody hit the door ding. When you first get that first door ding, you got to say, oh, I did get that protection. Yeah, I did get that protection. So I could take it in for that. But that's only going to be for what? The protection for the first, 2 years? But then after that, girl, you might be on your own. So you got to really think about what it is that first of all, that you need to be to attract the person that you want. Where do I need to be to attract the person that I want? What type of activities do I want to do to attract the person that I want? Again, I love to use myself as an example because, I could talk about a million people, but I like to walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. And, one of the things is I needed somebody who knew a little bit more than me, y'all. My husband's very smart in a lot of areas. However, he would I don't know if he would admit it, but it's a different balance. I'm smarter in areas that he isn't. So when we talk to each other, even though sometimes it may be frustrating for him or for me, we balance it out because it's things that I know that he doesn't know. It's things that he knows that I don't know. And the things that he knows, he has a lot more worldly experience than I have. He's been to probably, I don't know how many countries, but he's been to several countries. He's well traveled. He knows how to communicate with people from different walks of life, and those are things that I really admire about him. Because when we're out and about, a lot of times, and I'm used to it now, but he, because he's male, he's going to get a little bit more respect than I do. But because of the type of man he is and how he carries himself, and he's not man, so I can say what I want to say. His level of education, his level of language, and communication skills, he's able to do things that I'm not able to do a lot of times, and I admire that about him. So I can let him, hold the reins on that, babe. Do what you do. And so when you're seeking and trying to find someone to bring in your life, friendship, relationship, it doesn't matter. You sharing your time, your space with them. You really need to understand, you guys, what it is that you want in your life and what you're bringing to the table and what they're bringing to the table. So, I hope this is going to be the start of something wonderful. We're going to have a lot of conversations coming up in the next few weeks. I'm going to get a schedule. My hope right now is to post on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but because I was away for the beginning of the year, I wasn't able to post the first episode of I did post. Well, I posted, but I didn't post the second one. So please forgive me, honey. We all make some mistakes, but you're my friend, right? We don't judge. We don't judge. Okay, well, guys, if you have anything for me, I'm not drinking anything tonight because normally I would have. I'll let you know what I'm drinking. It'll be some type of champagne, cocktail, or anything. All I had was some San Pellegrino water with a dark Marcello cherry and pomegranate. That's all I had today. But trust and believe. When I normally am talking, I have something to celebrate with. I didn't have any recipe or anything to share with you. Just went grocery shopping. That was a whole fiasco. You guys, if anybody listening to me that does Instacart, I know it's a business. But going grocery shopping, and this is a sidebar, I'm talking, your girlfriend, I love y'all, I'm talking. But I know it's a business for you, but going to the grocery store used to be like a relaxing time. Go up and down the aisle, see what new products are available. Oh, what do I want to make next week? What do I want to make this week? Now, child, when you go to the grocery store now with these Instacart people, they like the lady literally in the grocery store had to say, if you are a person who is doing Instacart, can you please stay in the left lane of the store? Because they are about their business and you have to move out of their way. I just needed to vent about that because I want you to make your coin, but please let me still enjoy my grocery store shopping because I don't know. I might end up being on Instacart too. I just like picking up my own stuff. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but a lot has changed, but it's all going to be for the best. It's all going to, I think and hope, fingers crossed, we're in a transition period and something positive is going to come out of all of this. So, all that being said, if you would like to work with me as your friendship coach, you can find me at friendshipcoaching.com. I'm also available on Instagram at your girlfriend next door. That's why I have all my cute pictures. If you need any inspiration, you can find me at Friendship Coach. Those are both on Instagram. And I'm just out there. Google your girlfriend next door, Friendship Coach. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm there, y'all. And I'm actually recording this. Hey! I'm recording this because I wanted to see how it goes if I put some of the episodes up on the YouTube channel. Because I figured, double duty. Why not? Why should I have to do something separate? Okay, guys, I'm about to get out of here. I love you. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. I will see you in a few. Remember that show? 2 and 2. Or what should I say? 4 and 4. I love you. Don't forget, what's my song? Hey, best friend. You don't want me to sing. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.